Hi, welcome. I'm Benjamin, the domestic Tarot-ist, and welcome to Domestic Tarot-ism. I'm going to be doing a reading for the sign of Virgo. Decided that'd be a good place to start because it is my sun sign and the one I'm most familiar with. So if you're joining me here in this space, I welcome you. Whether you find yourself aligned astrologically to the sun sign of Virgo, if it's your rising, your moon, I hope you can find something of use as we go through a general energy pool here for the week of September the 3rd, 2023. We're just coming out of a supermoon in Virgo, so that's fun. I'm sure that's been interesting for all of you. I know it's been definitely heavy on my end, so we're going to start with gratitude for any and all ethereal beings that wish to interact with us in this space. We welcome you. The light, the dark, everything in between, everything has its place. Thank you for joining us here. Palo Santo. All right, we're going to start with a archetype pool, just to kind of get us warmed up here. I like that one. Anima Mundi. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. So that's perfect. As we just welcomed the balanced spectrum of ethereal beings into this reading, with gratitude, we're embracing all, accepting all, rejecting none, because everything has something to show us. Everything has something to say. And it is often the things that we reject that continue to try to get our attention. And whether we're repressing them, as the Jungian principle of the shadow would tell us, that is where truth lies. The things that we often ignore or do not want to accept, but is the deepest part of ourself that needs to become actualized in a healthy manner or channeled in a way that can be transmuted, perhaps. So we just, with that card draw, we really move into this space of accepting what we pull here for the next week concerning the star sign of Virgo. Ooh. That could not wait to come out. Queen of Discs. I've actually pulled that 3 times this week for myself, so that is perfect. Or last week, I suppose. Let's just give me. Let's take this one. The 5 of Discs as well. So this is a very earth-centered reading, of course. With it being Virgo, I expect nothing nothing else. We're really going to hone in on the material plane with this reading. The Five of Discs representing a move kind of from stability in the earth realm with material possessions into a sort of conflict, but that which will propel to further growth. Excuse me. But with that comes a move from the certain into the uncertain. So perhaps things are a certain way, and it's like, it's maybe it's good enough. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, the devil, of course. Okay, so we're just going to start with these three. Get started here. So, the Queen of Discs, the Five of Discs, and the Devil. The Devil also very much concerned with the material plane and possessions and as it relates to, let me see this here, this Five of Discs. Get that to focus here. That way we go. You see the inverted pentacle there, inverted pentagram rather, whichever you want to call it. Inverted five-pointed star. So we start with the Queen of Discs, and that's really just a representation of the suit that's nurtured and is understanding of the fullness of the suit from a place of really just being enthroned and being at ease, very much in your own power, and knowing your abilities, and kind of taking a no-nonsense rulership and self-inventory concerning material things and concerning things in the earth realm. So while there is a strong sense of self with the Queen of Discs, there's also a sense of we're moving from what's comfortable to maybe what is unknown but is necessary to progress through. And then there's always this sense of the foreboding unknown, but only when we kind of access and address that can we move forward. It's like the multiplying of a cell. For 1 to become 2, 2 to become 4, 4 to become 8, what have you, there has to be a tearing apart, an individualization. Where we were once joined together with something, perhaps, the tearing apart so that these two things can kind of stand on their own. So let me put that in other terms. So perhaps it's something as simple as a job, a position where you were once comfortable and is kind of enough, and you're getting by, but it's it's not fulfilling. It's like you just feel that there's more, and you so the Four of Pentacles is this sense of stability and this structure, very there's discipline there and there's familiarity, but you're throwing in that fifth spoke now, and it's it's there's chaos, and there's discord, and there's even outright conflict, and it's very concerning. The label on this, using the Crowley Thoth deck, for those of you who are familiar, they have these little labels on the bottom, and this one says worry. So there's a lot of energy in the air concerning Virgo in this season of I don't think I can stay where I'm at anymore, but I'm not really sure where to go. And there's this temptation in the Devil card to just really strictly identify with that worry and with that material sort of egoistic, I am my job, or I am this, and this is what has been comfortable, and this is that. But the Devil card challenges us to kind of almost forsake that which was comfortable for the sake of, how about that? For the sake of growth. it's a temptation to maybe just to stagnate, you know. And then in that there comes like, so let's say you stay where you are, right? And there's this inner call where it's like, well, I should maybe I should start a new thing, or have a little side project, or but you like quiet that down, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh, whether you're turning to different vices or different things of that nature to kind of quell that thirst for that thirst for adventure, because that's what we have really when we go from the four-walled temple into the five-spoked star of the discs of, like, you know, we're leaving the safety of the inner sanctum and going out into the unknown, and it's in that we can really, you know, we can look to transmute the uncertainty and the chaos. This is a time of chaos. This is the Virgo, we're definitely no stranger to chaos, and I would say that, you know, this harvest supermoon that we just had is really shedding light on the arenas of chaos in our lives, and how we can, you know, continue to show up for them. And it's really by our presence in those arenas that allows us to like, do you ever notice that, like, the more you progress inside, the more the story moves forward outside, like around you? That's inherent to everyone, but I would say as a Virgo, that's really our power, because we're the harvesters, right? We're the, you know, that which was seeded and nurtured, and now it's time to bring in that, you know, the reaping. And so we have a power, specifically as Virgos, to take things that are kind of unmanifest, and then through the chaos and through the uncertainty, we have the power to really ground them into action and bring them into fruition. And I would say with this reading, it's really asking you and I, Virgos, to lean into our power of embracing the unknown and not letting, you know, sometimes when things are uncertain, it can be overwhelming and can just really kind of throw you off your game if you allow it to. I'm also getting I'm also getting, with the imagery here, the Queen of Discs as well as the Devil both have these enormous goat-like horns. So if you can in this time partner with the energies of Capricorn, whether it's within yourself or within a friend, a partner, or just meditating on that sort of strong, sort of, I don't want to say cold, but like objective sort of energy of like, this is what is. And just sort of, I'm not saying to not be emotional, because a lot of the power that we have, especially in the chaos, in transmuting the chaos, is emotional, but maybe like tap into higher emotions, like objective emotionality, if you will, but practical, like hold on to what is concrete and what you know for certain in this time, especially in this next week. Like, don't allow things to come in that are like overly dramatic. Don't allow that to kind of take precedence, because you'll be challenged in ways that will try to unground you and just I'm also getting this notion of like, this is for the week of September 3rd, 2023, but if you pull this up, like, it's just the way this works. If you happen to pull this up 3 months from now and this is what you're hearing now, don't let too many subjective emotions come in and knock you off. That's a message for Virgo at any time, because while we do need to learn as earth signs to be, to kind of be balanced out with water, we don't want to, too much water can muddy things up in our lives. To be like straightforward, you need to lean into your power and be grounded right now. There's a lot of shifting going on, so there's definitely a lot of uncertainty in your life right now. So groundedness is very, very important. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just draw a couple more cards. I would like to speak specifically to the realm of sorry, listening for a second. Sometimes I can like just flow and let it go like through me, but sometimes I have to just kind of be quiet and listen. So we're gonna do that for a sec. Yeah, I want to speak specifically to the realm of emotional fulfillment right now. Now that we've stressed the importance of being grounded, I just threw out the 9 of Cups. And to be honest, there's a chance in this chaos to find wholeness within yourself that isn't available when things are going, it's easy to be happy when things are perfect. Like anyone can do that, right? So what this 9 of Cups says in this time of uncertainty and chaos and worry and trials and is really about finding that inner grail. Not only finding it, but letting your strength come through from that place. And that has to deal with kind of what I was saying before about not about like objective emotionality versus subject emotionality. Like not the emotions that come from your circumstances, but your emotions that you can arise from within the spring of life within your own being. That is where this 9 of Cups, this happiness resides. and it is that fountain that will influence these external things. And it's like I said, it's easy to be influenced the other way around. When things are great, to be happy on the inside. But what if you're happy when things are fucked up? What if you still have that? Well, then you'll always have it. And then from that place, things will begin to realign in the chaos to match your internal state. And that's the important thing to remember in this time. And that's back to the anima mundi. Like, you're allowing everything, you're accepting everything, you're grateful for everything, because everything has something to show you, has something to tell you. And once you find this inner strength, there's really nothing in the outer world that can affect you long term. So that being said, let's go ahead. Ooh. There you go. We have the 10 of Wands. So there's so much happening right now that's trying to oppress you, that's trying to just kind of test your willpower to say, okay, is this really what you want? Is this really what you put your time and effort into? And if it's not, I mean, that's okay. That's why we're tested with the fire. I mean, 10 of Wands is the fullest actualization of the numerical value of flame, right? So when we have this flame in our lives, that's just, it's like make or break you, right? Flame can consume an entire forest, or it can take an impure metal and purify it and make it usable to a greater degree. So it's up to you really in this time what you're going to, are you going to allow it to burn the things out of you that don't need to be there, or are you going to just, fall into this 5 of discs kind of worry and just, oh well, nothing's going right and nothing is, the way I want it to be. But I'll tell you what, if you have this 9 of cups, this water on the inside of you, no flame is going to get the best of you, and you will actually witness the marriage of flame and water on the inside. And that is one of the most beautiful alchemical things that you can embody, is that divine union of flame and water. We're going to pull one more card. And then we're going to weave this all into an overview. Oh, there it is. Hey, the Lovers. I've been drawing that one a lot too. So I'm just going to look at that. So right there, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The union of the fire and the water, the blade and the chalice, here, let me just do this again because I want to describe what we're looking at in this card. So inside, right, there's a man and a woman in an embrace, and inside, you have a black queen, or a black king, and a white queen rather. But inside of the black king, you have a white, would be a girl child, and inside, like, there's polarities within ourselves that we find reflected to us in others, right? So the Lover's card represents finding that, like my wife and I, like, she nurtures the polarity in me that I can't, right? And I her, right? So that's what this time is about when you, now this could represent literally, like, holding on to that marriage, that relationship. Those of you that are in spiritually functional, healthy relationships, then leaning on the other one in this time is your greatest strength. Leaning on each other, growing together, getting back to the simplicity of what it means to be a human being and to find an embrace in another human. Like that, getting away from, like, perhaps you were in a place with the 4 of Pentacles, and now moving into the 5, like you're, I just get that there's this transitionary period from, like, things were stable and comfortable and now they're, like, unsure, but the one thing that you can definitely lean on is that embrace in the other person, and kind of give them, be that strength for them as they're the strength for you. But maybe you don't have that person, or maybe this is more about loving yourself and allowing this, like I said, this balance of fire and water to happen within yourself. I mean, even here, if we look at this, right, we have the five elements: air, earth, fire, water, ether, right? So I like to think of it like this, and I don't know if this is like traditionally correct, but I like it, so I'm going to share it, and I'll end with this. So, primordial creation, we have fire and water, right? Fire and water mix to create steam, right? Create air. Air, when it meets water and fire, right? Think of a pond, water, light, air, algae, creates life, earth, right? When the earth mixes with those things, it sort of produces what we think of as living biology, like if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. What I'm saying is when there's a balance, when there's like everything feeds into itself and each other. So while this 5 of discs looks discordant, it looks worrisome, it's actually like, and again, it takes us back to the Anima Mundi. I'm going to read that again because I think I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down here, but epitomizes the principle of accept all, reject none. It is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. So again, like this really is the central card in this time. It's like, we're worried. Virgos, we're worried. It doesn't look good, but that's exactly the confirmation of it is good, right? Because your rational mind is going to try and knock you off. And I know I said to be rational. I know I said to be grounded, but I can't stress enough that it's more about objective reality and objective emotionality. Not like overthinking, don't get caught up in this loop of like, well, how am I going to do this? Or how am I going to do that? Or just know that you are a crucial part of this cosmic orchestra, and that every note you play in progression moves the progression of the whole, and that you are an integral part and a very, very valuable part of what is going on. Not only in your life, but in everyone's life, because it's not your life or everyone's life. It's our collective life. We're in this together. And I guess I'll leave you with that. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.